You stand at the edge of a battlefield, not one of steel and fire, but of whispers and glances. The world around you is a jungle, where the weak are devoured and the cunning reigns supreme. You've felt it, haven't you? That gnawing ache when others command the room, when loyalty slips through your fingers like sand. What if I told you it's not your words that betray you, but your eagerness to spill them? Machiavelli, the shadow architect of empires, understood this primal truth. He didn't beg for allegiance. He forged it in the crucible of fear and respect. And now, you will too. Picture Florence in the 1500s, a city of daggers and deceit. Niccolò Machiavelli, exiled from power, pens The Prince, a blade-sharp manual on ruling not with mercy, but with calculated dominance. He whispers to you across centuries, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." Why? Because love is fickle, a summer breeze that shifts with the wind. Fear, though fear is the chain that binds. You want loyalty? Don't chase it with smiles and promises. Command it with the silence of a predator stalking its prey. Start here, with the first secret of dark charisma, the power of silence. You talk too much. Admit it. In meetings, in arguments, in the quiet moments of negotiation, you fill the void with noise, revealing your hand before the game even begins. Machiavelli knew better. He advised princes to speak only when necessary, to let others babble while you observe, like a wolf eyeing the herd. Silence isn't weakness, it's your sharpest weapon. It creates mystery, breeds anticipation. When you hold your tongue, they wonder what storms brew behind your eyes. They lean in, desperate for your words. That's when loyalty takes root not in what you say, but in the fear of what you might withhold. Think of Caesar, crossing the Rubicon. He didn't announce his intentions with fanfare. No, he moved in shadows. His silence a thunderclap that echoed through Rome. His legions followed not out of blind affection, but because his quiet resolve promised victory and ruin to those who opposed. You can wield this too. Next time you're in a room full of chatter, stay still. Let your gaze pierce like a blade. Watch as they squirm, filling the air with their insecurities. Your silence commands respect. It says, "I am the Alpha, and you will heed me." But silence alone isn't enough. Pair it with precision, the art of striking at the heart without wasting motion. Machiavelli taught that power is surgical, not savage. You don't swing wildly, you thrust with intent. In your daily wars, this means choosing battles wisely. Ignore the petty slights, the meaningless barbs. Save your energy for the kill shot. When you do speak, make it count. Short, sharp, devastating. Number enough. Follow me. These aren't sentences. They're commands that echo like war drums. Repetition builds empires. Repeat your core truths. Let them sink into bones. Loyalty isn't given, it's taken. Loyalty isn't given, it's taken. Feel that? It's the rhythm of dominance, pounding in your chest. Napoleon mastered this. Exiled on Elba, he returned not with armies, but with charisma forged in fire. His words were few, his actions precise. "Soldiers, you are naked, ill-fed," he declared, then paused, letting silence amplify his promise. They flocked to him, not for gold, but for the aura of inevitability he exuded. You can do the same. In your pack, your team, your circle, be the wolf who leads without explanation. Your precision inspires awe, it whispers. This one knows the path to glory. Now, deepen this with control. Control isn't brute force, it's the invisible reins you hold. Machiavelli warned against revealing too much. Conceal your intentions, like a shadow in the moonlight. Let them guess your moves, but never confirm. This breeds fearlessness in you, for when they can't predict you, they can't undermine you. You become the enigma, the force they orbit around. In business, in love, in rivalry, hold back. Tease power, don't flaunt it. They will pledge loyalty not to your plans, but to the mystery you represent. Feel the shift already. Your instincts awakening. primal and raw. Dominance isn't born, it's cultivated in the forge of strategy. You are no longer the prey, you are the hunter, silent and sure. But this is just the dawn. The empire awaits. As the dawn breaks, you step deeper into the shadows where true power lurks. You've tasted silence, felt the edge of precision. Now, embrace fearlessness, the unyielding spine that turns men into legends. Machiavelli didn't cower in exile. He plotted, his mind a fortress against despair. You think vulnerability weakens you? That's the lie they feed the masses. True charisma blooms in the face of chaos, when you stand unmoved while others crumble. Fearlessness isn't the absence of fear, it's the mastery over it, a wolf baring teeth at the storm. Imagine Napoleon on the fields of Austerlitz, fog cloaking the dawn. His enemies outnumber him, yet he rides forward, eyes like flint, no tremor in his voice, no hesitation in his command. "Soldiers," he says, "the enemy is before us. Victory is ours." Simple words, but laced with iron certainty. His men charge not for glory alone, but because his fearlessness infects them, binding loyalty in blood and fire. You can summon this. In your battle's the boardroom ambush, the betrayal in shadows don't flinch. Meet the gaze of your rivals with a calm that chills. Let them see the predator within, the one who thrives on the edge. But fearlessness demands control, the subtle art of reigning in your impulses. Machiavelli cautioned, men are driven by two principal impulses, either by love or by fear. You wield both, but never let them see the strings. Control starts within. Tame your anger, your eagerness, your doubts. Become the still center of the whirlwind. When others rage, you smile faintly, a blade sheathed but ready. This control extends outward, shaping perceptions like clay. Plant seeds of doubt in your foes' whispers that erode their foundations. Did you hear? You might say. Then fall silent, letting imagination do the work. They fracture from within, while your empire solidifies. Repetition reinforces the throne. Control isn't seized, it's woven. Control isn't seized, it's woven. Feel the threads tightening? In the animal kingdom, the alpha wolf doesn't bark endlessly. He asserts with a glance, a low growl that echoes authority. You do the same. In negotiations, don't concede ground hastily. Hold firm, let silence stretch until they bend. Your fearlessness shines here, unblinking, unyielding. They sense it. The primal instinct that you're the one who won't break. Loyalty follows, not from coercion, but from the awe of your unbreakable will. Now weave in dominance, the crown of dark charisma. Dominance isn't loud proclamations, it's the quiet assumption of power. Machiavelli observed the Medicis, how they ruled not by force alone, but by making others crave their favor. You enter a room, and without a word, the air shifts. Shoulders straighten, eyes avert. How? By embodying the laws of power. Law 1. Never outshine the master, unless you're ready to eclipse him. But you, awakening your instincts, learn to outshine subtly, like the sun rising over lesser stars. Draw from predators. The lion doesn't roar to prove its might, it simply is. You cultivate this aura. Dress sharp, move with purpose, speak with weight. Short sentences, commanding pauses. We proceed. It's decided. No explanations needed. Dominance flows from certainty, from the fearlessness you forged. Caesar knew this, dividing Gaul not with endless troops, but with divide and conquer precision. He turned tribes against each other, his dominance a web that ensnared without effort. Apply it. In your circle, foster alliances that serve you. Dismantle those that don't. Be the gravitational force they can't escape. Yet, dominance thrives on psychological warfare, the unseen blades that cut deepest. Machiavelli's philosophy echoes Sunday Tzu. All warfare is based on deception. Deceive not with lies, but with half-truths, with the mask of indifference. Let them underestimate you, then strike. Instill doubt, question their certainties casually. Interesting choice, you say. Tone neutral, eyes piercing. They falter, second-guessing, while you advance. This warfare awakens their primal respect, the kind that breeds unwavering loyalty. They follow not out of obligation, but because defying you feels like defying nature itself. Feel the momentum building? Your blood pulses with ancient rhythms, dominance, fearlessness, control. Silence and precision are your allies now, sharpening your edge. But the path deepens still, into realms where empires are eternalized. As you delve deeper, the shadows lengthen, revealing the art of psychological influence, the silent siege that crumbles fortresses without a single shot. Machiavelli didn't conquer with armies. He conquered minds, turning doubt into devotion. You feel it stirring, that primal urge to dominate not through force, but through the subtle poison of perception. The world isn't fair. It's a canvas you paint with illusions. They think you're predictable? Let them. Underestimation is your greatest ally, a wolf in sheep's clothing waiting to pounce. Consider the 48 laws of power, distilled from history's ruthless victors. Law 3. Conceal your intentions. You wear masks, shifting like smoke. In conversations, nod agreeably, but plot in secret. Let them reveal their cards while yours stay close. This breeds fear, the delicious uncertainty that keeps them loyal, orbiting your gravity. Napoleon employed this masterfully at Waterloo, feigning weakness to lure Wellington into overextension. His deception wasn't blatant. It was a whisper, a feint that turned tides. You apply it daily. In rivalries, drop hints of alliances elsewhere. Watch as paranoia grips them, eroding their resolve. Your influence seeps in, binding them tighter than chains. But influence demands repetition, the drumbeat that etches commands into souls. Perception rules all. Perception rules all. Hammer it home until it's instinct. You shape how they see you, not as equal, but as inevitable. Use metaphors of the wild, be the alpha who marks territory without fanfare. A low growl, a steady gaze, and the pack falls in line. In your domain, foster this through actions small and sharp. Reward subtly, punish indirectly. A raised eyebrow conveys more than a shout. They crave your approval, fear your withdrawal. This is dark charisma, not charm, but compulsion. Now, awaken dominance through predatory metaphors. You are the blade in the dark, unseen until it strikes. Machiavelli advised princes to be both lion and fox fierce, yet cunning. Embody this duality. Roar when needed, but slink in shadows more often. In leadership, don't dictate, insinuate. What if we tried this? You suggest, planting seeds that bloom as their ideas yours in disguise. Loyalty surges because they feel ownership, yet it's your empire they build. Caesar crossed rivers, not alone, but with legions enthralled by his vision. He painted Rome's glory, making each soldier see himself in the triumph. You do the same. Weave narratives where following you means personal conquest. Fearlessness amplifies this. Stare down the abyss without blinking. When crises hit betrayals, setbacks, you remain the rock. Others panic. You calculate. This changes nothing, you declare, voice steady as steel. Your calm infects them, turning fear into fuel. Control follows, the reins pulled taut. Monitor reactions, adjust your facade. If they sense weakness, crush it swiftly. A quiet word in private, a public slight avoided. Precision here. Strike once, decisively. But let's sharpen with examples from the annals of warfare. Wolves hunt in packs, not by chaos, but by orchestrated silence. The lead wolf signals with a flick of tail, and the others converge. You lead likewise. In teams, assign roles that highlight strengths, expose flaws subtly. They compete for your favor, loyalty forged in the fire of ambition. Machiavelli's Florence was rife with such games. The Medicis pitted nobles against each other, emerging unscathed. Mirror this. Divide to rule. Unite under your banner. Emotional momentum builds now, your instincts roaring to life. Dominance isn't a crown you wear, it's the air they breathe. Fearlessness shields you, control guides you, silence and precision your weapons. Yet, the true mastery lies in timeless laws, where psychological warfare becomes art. Primal urges awaken, claim them, wield them. The battlefield expands, victories await in the unseen. Venturing further into the unseen, you encounter the timeless laws that etch empires into eternity. Machiavelli's quill didn't just scribe advice. It carved destinies, drawing from the 48 laws of power that echo through ages like war horns. These aren't rules for the faint, they're blueprints for the ruthless, awakening your primal core where dominance reigns unchallenged. Law 4. Always say less than necessary. You've learned silence, but now master its depth. Words are arrow sluice too many, and your quiver empties. Hold back. Let implication do the slaughter. They fill the gaps with their fears, binding themselves to your enigma. Feel the poetry of it. You, a shadow emperor, whispering decrees that resonate like thunder. Napoleon lived this. His dispatches terse, his presence overwhelming. At Jena, he didn't harangue his troops with epics. A glance, a nod, and they surged forward, loyalty fused in the forge of his restraint. You mirror this in your arenas. In debates, respond with a single, piercing question. Why? Let it hang, a noose tightening. Their babble exposes weaknesses. Your precision exploits them. Repetition cements the law. Say less, command more. Say less, command more. It pulses in your veins, turning chatter into chains, but laws intertwine, like vines strangling the unwary. Law 5. So much depends on reputation, guard. It with your life. Your dark charisma hinges here. Build a myth around you, not of fragility, but of invincibility. Be the wolf whose howl scatters flocks, whose legend precedes the hunt. Machiavelli saw reputations topple kingdoms. The Sforzas rose on auras of cunning, fell when pierced by doubt. Cultivate yours deliberately. Spread tales subtly through allies who sing your praises in whispers. He never forgets a slight, they murmur. Fear brews, respect solidifies. In modern battles, post victories quietly on your terms. Let actions speak, rumors amplify. Fearlessness fuels this guard. When attacks command, they will deflect with poise. A slanderous email? Respond not with fury, but with a calculated silence that screams indifference. They falter, wondering at your armor. Control the narrative. Twist their barbs into your strengths. Challenges make me sharper, you say. Tone velvet over steel. Precision strikes again. Choose words that elevate you. Diminish them. Caesar's reputation as merciful conqueror masked his iron fist, drawing Gauls to his banner even in defeat. You do likewise. Forgive publicly, avenge privately. Loyalty swells from those who see your mercy as power, not weakness. Now, plunge into psychological warfare's heart, where minds are battlegrounds. Law 13. When asking for help, appeal to people's self-interest, never to their mercy or gratitude. Primal instincts crave gain. Exploit that. Don't beg allegiance. Offer spoils. Join me, and we conquer together, you imply, eyes promising empires. Wolves hunt for the pack's feast, not charity. In negotiations, frame deals as mutual triumphs, but tilt the scales your way. They commit, thinking it's their victory, yours in truth. Dominance asserts through deception's elegance. Law 22. Use the surrender tactic, transform weakness into power. Feign retreat, lure them close, then strike. Machiavelli's princes turned exiles into comebacks this way. You apply it. In conflicts, yield minor ground, watch them overextend. Your counterattack? Swift, silent, devastating. Emotional triggers ignite their arrogance blinds. Your patience prevails. Momentum surges, your spirit ablaze. These laws aren't chains, they're wings for your ascent. Silence veils you, precision hones you, control steers you, fearlessness armors you, dominance crowns you. But deeper laws beckon, where loyalty becomes legend and power eternal. As empires solidify in your mind, you grasp the laws that transcend time, forging loyalty into an unbreakable alloy. Law 27. Play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. Machiavelli didn't preach, he embodied the vision, making princes see themselves as gods among men. You awaken this by crafting your persona as the inevitable leader, the shadow that promises ascension. Speak of our triumphs, but make it clear, without you, there is no our. Like wolves circling a kill, draw them into the pack's thrill, their instincts binding them to your dominance. Precision in this law is key. Don't overpromise. Deliver glimpses of power that tantalize. Napoleon rallied France not with empty oaths, but with victories that echoed his prophecy. From the heights of these pyramids, 40 centuries look down upon us, he proclaimed at the Nile, weaving history into his myth. You do the same. In your realm, share stories of past conquests, laced with mystery. Remember when we turned defeat into dominion? Pause. Let silence amplify. They nod, eyes alight. Loyalty deepening because belief isn't for said it's seduced, but belief demands control. The velvet glove over iron. Law 18. Do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous. Stay among them, but as the untouchable core. Machiavelli warned of princes who hid only to fall to whispers. You mingle, observe, influence from within. Fearlessness here. Walk the front lines, unflinching. When tensions rise, your calm quells storms. We adapt, you say, short and sure. Repetition echoes. Adapt or perish. Adapt or perish. It becomes their mantra, your command internalized. Dominance evolves through psychological subtlety. Law 33. Discover each man's thumbscrew. Every soul has a weakness, pride, greed, fear. Probe gently, like a blade testing flesh. In conversations, listen more than speak. Note flinches, hesitations. Then, press when needed. A rival boasts, compliment subtly, then withdraw approval. They chase it, revealing more. Caesar exploited this in Rome, turning senators' vanities against them. His alliances a web of manipulated desires. You wield it. Offer what they crave. Withhold to control. Loyalty isn't blind. It's hooked on the bait you dangle. Now silence as your ally in warfare's dance. Law 4 again. But deeper ruse it to amplify threats unspoken. They fear not your roar, but the hush before the storm. In rivalries don't threaten, imply. A knowing smile, a turned back. Primal instincts ignite, they sense the predator, pledging fealty to avoid the strike. Control the tempo. Slow your responses, let anticipation build. Precision strikes in retorts that cut clean. Choose wisely, no more needed. Feel the emotional surge? Your veins thrum with ancient power. Machiavelli's ghost nodding approval. These laws aren't chains, they're keys to thrones. Fearlessness shields your advance, dominance your banner. But the pinnacle approaches, where charisma turns mortal men into legends, loyalty into legacy. At the pinnacle, where mist clears to reveal thrones of bone and ambition, you command the laws that immortalize rulers. Law 47. Do not go past the mark you aimed for. In victory, learn when to stop. Machiavelli's wisdom cuts here overreach, invites ruin. You've built dominance, woven fearlessness into your sinews, but true mastery knows restraint. Like a wolf sating its hunger without gluttony. Halt at the peak. Push further, and allies turn to vipers, loyalty fraying under excess. Napoleon forgot this at Moscow, his empire crumbling in snow. You won't, in triumphs, claim your due, then withdraw to shadows. Let them savor the win, craving more under your banner. Precision tempers this law. Strike true, then sheath the blade. No gloating, no parades of conquest. A nod, a faint smile. That's your victory lap. Silence amplifies. They whisper of your mercy, binding tighter in gratitude unspoken. Control the aftermath, redirect energies to new horizons. Onward, you murmur, eyes forward. Repetition seals it. Victory is fleeting, legacy endures. Victory is fleeting, legacy endures. It echoes in their hearts, turning momentary allegiance into eternal devotion. But legacy demands psychological depth, the warfare that scars souls invisibly. Law 38. Think as you like, but behave like others. Blend in, a chameleon among serpents. Machiavelli survived courts by mirroring the masses while plotting ascents. You adopt this. Observe norms. Conform outwardly. Dominate inwardly. In packs, be the wolf who runs with the herd but leads the hunt. Fearlessness shines defy conventions in secret, emerge unscathed. When they suspect difference, it's too late. Your influence has rooted. Dominance crowns through law won again, revisited. Never outshine the master, but as you rise, become the master others dare not eclipse. Foster protégés who reflect your glory, not rival it. Caesar mentored Antony, binding him until the end. You select lieutenants wisely talented but dependent. Praise their sparks, but fan your flame brighter. Primal instincts awaken in them. Admiration morphs to awe, loyalty to worship. Now, silence in its ultimate form. The unspoken pact. Law 29. Plan all the way to the end. Foresee betrayals, counter with preemptive strikes veiled in quiet. A conversation steered away from pitfalls. An alliance forged in advance. Precision plans. Control executes. Napoleon at our cold bridged rivers under fire, his vision clear amid chaos. You envision outcomes, adjusting with blade-like accuracy. Emotional fire rages now, your essence transformed. These laws pulse like war drums, awakening dominance that brooks no challenge. Fearlessness your shield, control your reins, precision your thrust. Loyalty isn't commanded, it's inevitable. Yet, the final secrets unfold, where power assumes its purest form. In the final unveiling, power assumes its purest form assumed, not declared. A silent coronation that crowns you emperor of wills. Machiavelli's legacy isn't in tomes gathering dust. It's in the primal code he unlocked, the 48 laws distilled into your bloodstream. Law 48. Assume formlessness. Be water, flowing around obstacles, crashing when needed. Rigidity breaks. Adaptability conquers. You forge dominance through silence, precision piercing like arrows in the night. Now, dissolve boundaries, become the ever-shifting shadow that eludes grasp. Napoleon at his zenith was this elusive, adapting to terrains from desert sands to alpine peaks. His enemies predicted a lion. He struck as a fox. You embody it. In shifting alliances, pivot without warning. Let them label you predictable, then morph. Fearlessness sustains this fluidity. Doubt is for the static, the soon. Fallen. Control refines formlessness. Direct the flow, unseen currents guiding fates. Law 42. Strike the shepherd, and the sheep will scatter. Identify linchpins the influencers. The whisperer sand, neutralize them subtly. A word misplaced, a favor withdrawn. Precision here. No broad swings, just incisions that bleed empires dry. Caesar dismantled Pompey's network not with legions alone, but by swaying key senators, his charisma, a tide pulling them under. You strike likewise. In your wars, map the shepherds. Befriend, then isolate. Watch flocks, flock to you, loyalty transferred like spoils. But loyalty's pinnacle lies in emotional alchemy, turning fear into fervor. Repetition invokes it. Power is assumed. Power is assumed. Feel it settle in your core, a wolf's instinctive claim. Psychological warfare peaks with Law 15. Crush your enemy totally. Half measures breed vipers. Annihilation ensures peace. Yet crush not with violence, but with overwhelming presence. Overpower minds drown doubts in your certainty. Silence as the final blow. Withhold judgment until they crave it, then deliver with blade. Edge finality. Irrelevant. One word. Empires topple. Dominance now eternal, woven from these threads. You've awakened instincts dormant the hunter's gaze, the general's poise. Machiavelli commands from graves. Wield these secrets and loyalty bends knee. In boardrooms, bedrooms, battlefields you reign. Short sentences seal fates. Pauses breed legends. Metaphors of might. You, the empire's architect, building on bones of the unwise. As shadows lengthen into night, remember, they don't fear what you said, they fear what you might do. You've claimed the throne, but thrones demand vigilance, the eternal watch of the conqueror. Machiavelli's final whisper across the void. Power isn't held, it's perpetually seized, a dance with shadows where one misstep invites the dagger. You've internalized the laws, your instincts now, a symphony of dominance. Fearlessness, threading through like veins of steel. Silence your sentinel, precision your assassin, control the unseen hand that moves pieces on the board. Loyalty. It's the fruit of this orchard, ripening under your gaze. Reflect on the wolves once more. The pack thrives not on equality, but on hierarchy etched in blood. The alpha doesn't justify. He exists as law incarnate. You are that alpha now. In every glance, every withheld word. Napoleon, exiled yet unbroken, returned because his charisma lingered like smoke after battle. Men didn't follow a man, they followed a force. Cultivate that in your wake. Leave impressions that haunt, promises unspoken that bind souls. Psychological warfare's endgame is self-perpetuation, where your influence echoes without effort. Law 26. Keep your hands clean. Delegate the dirt. Emerge pristine. Let underlings bear the stains while you reap the purity of power. Precision delegates. Control overseas. A rival felled not by your strike, but by another's your orchestration invisible. Caesar's assassins thought they freed Rome. Instead, they crowned his heir. Manipulate outcomes thus. Plant seeds of discord. Harvest fields of fealty. But beware the primal hubris, the wolf that turns on its master. Fearlessness tempers it. Stay grounded in calculation. Repetition guards. Humility masks strength. Humility masks strength. Wear it like armor, deflecting envy. In victory, share spoils judiciously, binding loyalties anew. Dominance sustains through renewal, empires refreshed in the forge of ongoing conquest. As you stand transformed, the world bends. Short breaths of command, pauses pregnant with empires. You've awakened the beast within, Machiavellian fire in your eyes. Command loyalty not with chains, but with the gravity of your presence. They follow because to do otherwise is to defy the inevitable. Power is not declared, it's assumed.